So who are we doing first? We're hitting record. Somewhere around here we hit record.
Are we recording? Because I don't see. Oh, there it is. Okay. It hides in the red background.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you could even.
This is
we
Danny
can have someone in our bonus. Okay, so he's first. Let's see. Here's my summary. Danny Carpio. Okay, so this was all right. Good times, and so we'll pretend like you guys are. Hello, hey, how you guys doing? We didn't see you there while we were talking through all of this. We're at the end of another week. It is another Challenge Friday. This week was a good one. We really geeked out a little bit. I would say maybe a lot, depending on what it is. But this was a really timely, the reality of AI conversation. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Michael thought about it. I'm looking forward to seeing what I thought about it as we get into this in a little bit. But first, let us introduce ourselves. I am Rob Broadhead, one of the founders of Developreneur and Really Better Developers, and enjoying the video part of it today just because it's been a good week. Also founder of RB Consulting, where we help you avoid costly technology mistakes before they happen. And particularly in this modern world, as we're about to talk about, there's a lot of those mistakes that can happen. Even the silent failures that are out there that you don't know they're a mistake until it's 6 months later and it's a very expensive mistake. Good thing and bad thing. Good thing is we are actually recording this on a Friday, which just makes me that much happier. And even more so, it's been a really good week. It's like we had this heat wave. It's finally gone away. It is a gorgeous day. I've been waiting for this for a while. Last night was a gorgeous night. It was one of those, we had lots of breezes. It was like not too cold, not too warm. I could not ask for a better weather. The bad thing is, gosh, I don't know that there is a bad thing. Bad thing is it's probably going to end soon. I'm within about a week and a half of our next big move. And although I'm looking forward to it, we're moving to yet another place that we're going to see how it goes. It could be good, could be bad. But in any case, it will be exciting. Not as exciting as Michael introducing himself.
Hey, guys. Happy Friday. I'm Mike Malash. I'm one of the co-founders of Building Better Developers, also known as Developreneur. I'm also the founder of Envision QA, where we work with businesses to assess their systems, identify what's slowing them down, and guide them towards the right solution instead of guessing or overbuilding some complex system. Good thing, bad thing. Good thing, we're experiencing a cool down this summer. I was able to sit outside last night for many hours. It didn't have too many bugs. It was very comforting. Downside, we're supposed to get some more rain coming this weekend, so I might get another day or two of this, but then it's going to be okay, back inside, hiding from the weather.
It's a good time to get some work done. So this week, if you haven't listened to it, go back, pause right here, go back and listen to the episodes, the conversation with Danny Carpio, because we really dig into what is the core message, I think, that I have at least, and I think that we have been sharing for a while about AI, that it's not really AI. AI is just a tool. It is an amplifier. It is an accelerant. And if you're amplifying or accelerating something that is questionable, we'll say, or not ideal, then the next thing you know, you're going to have maybe chaos. You may have the wheels run off, things like that. I love the idea of the soapbox derby thing where the car takes off and the wheels just go thump and everything collapses like in cartoonish fashion. Even though that's not funny or cartoonish, if you happen to be a company that just spent a lot of money on an MVP or even a proof of concept, some sort of demo, and the demo doesn't work. But that's another problem. So a lot of times the demo does work. It's not until you hit reality that suddenly now it doesn't work anymore. It's like it was great when we had the happy path and we were very scripted and tightly focused on what we were doing and what the inputs and outputs were. But now when we add reality and humanity and all that stuff and things aren't exactly what we predicted, things, it's not hilarity ensues. It is chaos ensues and we have to start fighting fires. So Danny was very much living the dream, I guess, in that sense. So we really talked a lot about trade-offs, about the reality, about the buzz that's out there, about all of the excitement and marketing stuff about and fluff about AI and how awesome it is, and it's going to 10x your company, and you're going to be able to do this, and you're going to be able to do that. And Danny's in the midst of this, and his customers are people that are doing this and realize that yes, there are benefits. You can use it. It is a good tool, and you can get a lot of leverage of it. But you need to make sure that your organization is ready for it, that it's prepared for it, and that it is positioned to use those tools properly. I'll stop there with the overview and let you dive in with your thoughts.
Yeah, this is one of those fun ones. We kind of get off the rails a little bit with the AI side of things. The funny thing about this one, this is one of those conversations where if you are finally embracing AI, you've kind of put some guardrails up to really understand how AI works. You can work around the hallucinations. You can get things going and start building systems with AI that will help exponentially improve your company and help things move faster. The downside is if you don't put those barriers up or you don't monitor how that's working, you could essentially end up in a messy situation. You're basically building your house with straw on the beach and it's going to wash away. But the other concept he talked about that was interesting is it's removing the barriers or the phantom walls between the organization. So it's like AI can kind of bleed all the departments together. And we've talked about this with other people too, where as developers, we're, especially from the development side, as developers, we're not really coding anymore, right? We're actually managing a junior developer, mid-level developer through AI, building systems and working these solutions. So your roles in many situations change. The cool part, though, is that AI is getting better and getting to the point now where if you take the time to understand the guardrails, put things in place, you can really quickly start building, testing, and reducing the overhead of your business and letting it grow. That doesn't mean that companies need to lay people off all over the place, but what it really means is if you free up people's time, maybe you can turn around and have them start looking for more revenue avenues, build that funnel, come up with better solutions. It's not all the doom and gloom. Yes, some companies are going that way, but AI has improved to the point now where it's like, you have this melting pot of people in your company that have all this knowledge of how your company works. Yes, AI can do some of that or a lot of that in some cases, but that doesn't mean that those people are irrelevant. What it just means is retool your people and speed up your, grow your business, scale your business faster.
Yeah, it's really interesting. This goes back to it shows the cracks. It definitely shows the organizational issues around who knows what, who owns what. How do the organizations don't. There is organizational memory and organizational knowledge, but it exists in humans primarily. And good organizations, they've actually extracted that, and they do have documentations and standard operating procedures and all the things that pull that into something that is systematized. It's a framework for your organization. But too many organizations are realizing because of AI that they don't actually have it. They realize that Bob in accounting has got several things that he does, and it's just he knows it. Some founders are finding out, and some executives, that there's a lot of stuff that they have. They are bottlenecks. They are, a piece, or maybe they're even a liaison between two departments. And as soon as they disappear, the communication disappears. And that was something I liked that Danny brought up, is that it's not always it's not always the departments, it's actually the communication between departments where you have issues. And any of you that have ever done integrations or migrations even, you'll know that like mapping data is one of the most tedious and critical steps in most software, actually, in a lot of these things. Even if you've done an ERP implementation, those are the kinds of things is what is the proper language? How does it get mapped? Where does it come from? Where does it go? Those things that are so simple. That's the data flow diagrams that we did back in college and probably first time you had to draw a flow chart of what does your program do. We're back to that because we never did it detailed enough. We did 3 boxes and that was our CRM, or something like that. Or I can remember so many times doing an ATM machine where it was like 4 boxes. It was just like you get to the end and you got money out. We didn't include all the other stuff. And that is what so many organizations have done is they've skipped out on the details. Humans have stepped in, as we talked weeks ago now with Dave Burzillo, as we talked about the hero. And that's exactly what we're seeing now is that the heroes are actually the problem and are blocking the organization from scaling. And AI is there. It's now a promise of scaling. But if your organization is not ready for it, if you've got people holding stuff together too much, AI is not going to be able to figure that one out. So back to you.
Yes, I had a really good thought, and then it kind of fluttered away as you kept going on there. But it's one of those things. You talked about the hero. You talked about the different barriers of the organization kind of being broken down, and how AI. If we don't have the information, we lose it, right? Here we go. The cautionary tale about using AI though is yes, back in the day, we did the ATM thing. It was 4 boxes, you build the software. But now, if you turn that over to AI could build you 100,000 lines of code that you don't need. It could bloat your software. So you do really have to pay attention to what you're doing and using AI for. You need to understand what it is that you're building so that you can make sure that what AI is truly building is what you want, not some hallucination, or really basically it just trying to choke down all your tokens and charge you a lot of money for something that you probably could have built with like 12 lines of code. Just little things like that. Because if you are not a coder, if you're not a developer, and you ask and you start vibe coding, you could very quickly burn through your money because you're not sure what you're doing. So take the time to understand, and maybe even get someone who does know how to code or develop systems to just kind of check what you're doing, give you a reality check. Are you doing it right? Yes, it works, but is it something that can scale? Is it something that can actually be maintained long term?
Well, that's an interesting, because that's also something that I think Danny, I believe he's the one that mentioned the idea of, in passing, of like productivity versus being busy. The AI really allows us to be busy, and that false sense of it's productivity theater. We think we're being productive. We think we're doing a lot, but we're not. I remember back, I think I shared this on one of these or one of our podcast episodes, even in one of my AI conversations a while back. One of the things I did is I said, like, okay, well, let's assess where I'm at and what I'm doing. And one of the things even AI said is like, you need to stop. You're building too much. You've got too many things that you're doing. You're going in too many directions. And on a regular basis, I go back and look at that because it does allow me to, which is funny enough, it allows me to do more. It will even come back on a regular basis and be like, okay, I can do this, but I can also do this and this and this. And always adding a little bit. It's always putting a little bit more into scope. As you mentioned, like it helps grow the scope. And it's just like a junior or mid-level developer. How many developers have we talked to that are like, but I can add this, I can add that, I can add this. This is the scope and the cost control scope creep issues that we run into on a regular basis. Is because developers do the same thing. Humans do the same thing. We want to please. We want to add a little bit more. We want to show off. It's whatever the various reasons are for it. And it's not. And it's the same thing. It's not because we're thinking, all right, we're going to bill them an extra 5 hours to do it. It's because we're trying to do it to help them out. But then somewhere down the line, the bill is bigger than it was supposed to be. You're going to run into the same problem. The same problems technology and software has had for since probably the first add two numbers together application. And they said, well, what if we want to multiply or something like that? It's the same thing. We always have this scope creep. We always have budget creep. And AI is no different. And funny enough, probably part of the reason AI is like that is because we're like that. So when it looks at the history of software development, it sees that that's what you do. You just keep on and keep on and keep on. And so it goes back to, I love the idea of, go talk to somebody. It would be great if there was this company, we'll just call it RB Consulting, that had a technology reality check that you could do. But I think you do need to do that, is have that reality check, that vetting of what are you doing. We use it all the time. This is so critical now in this world, especially I think if you're vibe coding your way into something, you're not regularly a developer, is what is your why? Get that why nailed out. Why am I building this? What is the problem I'm solving? What does the solution look like? Do not allow yourself to keep shifting the solution. Now, if you want to do something that you're like, I don't know what my solution wants to be. I want to get started and I'll let it grow. That's fine. Then do that in a very incremental and intentional way. So solve your problem, get to a version 1 or version 0.1, whatever you want to call it, and say, okay, now I've solved it. Now I'm going to reset. So my why is going to change a little bit. My goal, my problem, I've expanded my problem a little bit. I've expanded my solution a bit. Now let's move to that point. Do it in very measurable, definable and chunks where you know what done is. If you don't define for yourself what done is for this phase, for this step, then you will never get there. Your likelihood to just continue growing is why software is always a problem. It's always going to run out of skill. So I'm sorry, that was like a bit of a soapbox. So I'll toss that back to you before we get to a challenge.
No, I mean, but that's kind of what it is, right? I mean, we have to, AI basically is letting us go so fast. It's like, okay, you just learned to drive. Now you're driving a Ferrari down the interstate or the U-Bahn, whatever it is over in Europe, where you basically have no speed limit and you're just going, and whoops, you hit a speed bump. Then what happens? You crash, you burn. So we want to avoid that, and you just need to take the caution. You need to do the assessments. You need to be conscious of the why and just make sure you keep it tightly focused. The only thing I'll leave on is, he talked about the heroes. We've talked about the heroes. One of the things that, Envision has done over the years, we've done a lot of the test-driven development. And time again, I still fight this with developers. They don't like to test. They don't like to write the unit test. They don't like to write the integration test. They say it's a waste of time. And I swear to God, just the other day, it was like, well, we just need to put all of our code and do all of our development in development. We don't need to test it locally. We don't need to do it locally. We just need to put it together, push it out there, and get it working. How are you going to maintain that? You can't. It's going to work and then crash. And then you're going to have spaghetti code or some type of spaghetti functionality that you're going to struggle to maintain. And you're setting a foundation up that's not going to be stable.
I will just add to that. Don't take Michael's word for it. Ask your AI. Go to your AI and do a red team against your design or your current application, or just ask AI. Say, what am I not doing that I need to do to make this? Call it production grade, production quality software, something along those lines. Like, what are the recommended best practices for software development that I'm not following? And you're going to get testing's going to come up, and you know what? It's the excuse of it takes too much time is I think thrown out the window. I have all my stuff. It just builds tests for me. I'm just like, do it and test it and make it part of it. It's just like I wave my fingers and it generates hundreds and hundreds of tests and it'll run through it. And it uses that. So as we are doing, as I said, like that step 1, step 2, step 3, we get to step 1, make it very firm, make it ready to go, like test it, all of the validations, all the things, so this works. And now you've got it locked in. So we can go to version 2 and things start to break. it knows which test to add, which test to address, all the things it needs to do. Like, you're going to find that's part of, it should be part of your guardrails. That is part of your, like, I should still be passing my test. I shouldn't be drifting from what our original features and solution are. So challenge of the week. This is one that I don't think we have actually covered in the past. So I think this would be an interesting one that what I want to throw out is, let's do whatever it is you're working on. What is your app? And keep this small. Like, so what is your app or your goal for this week? Something. If you're building some big, huge thing, let's shrink it down a little bit. Especially if you're vibe coding it or AI assisted development coding it. What is it that you're building? What is your done? So you should have that. So you should have the requirements. And so you know when those requirements are met, this is what done is. What is your next step? Because I think this is good practice to say, okay, I'm going to lock this in. This is version 1, let's say, of what I'm building. And while you're going through this, I'm now building the idea of version 2 or 1.1. And so because the goal is, let's say in this next week, is have something set that you're going to finish sometime this week. Anything that comes up to your mind that's like, oh, I could do this, oh, I could do that. Any scope creep, push that into the next version. And then at the end of the week, look at what your extra stuff is that you thought about. Sit down and like intentionally say, well, what do I really want to do? What really matters for the next version? And then reset your requirements, reset your goals for that next week. I think getting into this like mini sprint approach or something like that is going to help you a lot, because it helps you, again, worry about delivering usable software on a regular basis, but also keeps the bites small enough that it's very easy to tell when you're shifting scope, and very easy to say, wait, I'm going to push that into the next one because I'm going to take another bite 5 minutes later. And so it allows you, I think, to get into we'll call it the habit and the momentum of not getting hammered by scope creep. Thoughts on that challenge?
The only thing I'll throw out with that is, as you're doing this challenge, if you start to really see some successful responses, start build a prompt for it. Add it to your AI memory. Add it to your GPTs. And that way, as next time you come in to do something, it's going to help keep you on track. You're basically going to train your AI to help you to the way you think, to keep your guardrails in place and make sure you're doing things right.
Cool. I like that addition, because, yeah, this is something that's not just about doing it. It's about learning and improving your personal process. That being said, I think it's time for us to wrap this one up. It has been a great Friday. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you so much putting up with our ugly mugs and our bad jokes and all the other things that we have along the way. But also, hopefully, this is, like I said, this is just exactly what the titles say, that you are becoming better developers and you are really embracing I think this is really the developreneur that I think is going to come out of this AI season, where you have all of these developers that now have AI. So they have their entire team. So as we're going to talk about in the future, like, you don't have to scale out in people. You could scale out, as Michael even mentioned, like with your junior and mid-level developers that are your agents, your AI tools. These things are going to help companies, I think, grow very fast. And these foundational things we talk about, I think, are going to be the keys to your success as we move forward. As always, love to hear from you guys. However you want to reach out to us, or, you hear it all the time, but info@developreneur.com. Check us out at the developreneur.com site. All the latest stuff that's out there, we're playing with that on a regular basis. If you want to be a guest, there is a application out there. There's a form you can fill out. Love to hear from you. And we will now wrap this one up. We're going to enjoy our weekend. You go enjoy your weekend. Have yourself a great day, a great weekend, and we will talk to you next week.